Hi guys, it's Kennyah and I'm back with another video. I'm so happy that I'm recording this video right now, and we're recording this on the 28th, and so there's exactly 3 more days until the new year 2023. 2022 was definitely the year that I got to relearn some of the bad habits that I had and learned how to fix it and get more spiritual and more in tune with myself, and I'm so grateful for this year. I've met so many great people, so many great lessons and stuff. So this video that I will be talking about some things that I learned this year and some things I'll definitely be taking on to the new year. I've learned a lot of things this year, and these are some of the more biggest life changers if you're new. Hi, I'm Kennyah. I'm also a business owner. I own Watching the Moon Tarot on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. I offer an array of things that I posted a little bit of a menu on Watching the Moon Tarot Instagram. So if you do want a personal reading, you can DM Watching the Moon Tarot on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Instagram is the fastest way to get in contact with me. And one of the great things that you can order this time around is a New Year's sort of kind of New Year, what's coming for you in a year reading. So that's $20, but people that order before January 21st, 2023, they get a good, nice old discount. But yeah, let's go on with the video. So the first thing that I learned is not everyone's going to stay or keep their promise to not leave. I had a friend, and he promised that he would never leave me, he'll never ghost me, he'll never block me, but some things happened after he said that, and he stopped talking to me. And I came to the conclusion that not everyone that you want to stay is going to stay. And something that I've seen on the internet a few days ago on TikTok is like sometimes you're not the main character in everyone else's story. Sometimes you're the villain, sometimes you're the side character, sometimes you're just a random extra just sitting in the back of the corner, like my guitar that I barely even use. But not everyone is going to stay, and the people that are staying are the ones that are truly meant for you. The second thing is the most toxic things can be the same things that make you happy. So it could be called a bad influence. Duh. I had a friend group last year. I talk about it in my spiritual awakening video, but I loved them so much and they made me so happy, but it was such a bad influence in a way, and I got into a whole bunch of things I didn't think I would get into, and so it's some things that I'm still trying to quit now just because of that, and it affected me so much. So not everything that makes you happy is good for you. You always should look at the things that may actually genuinely make you happy and be like, do they make me do anything that is bad for me, or is it something that makes me good, makes you do something good, you know? And that's what I wish I had someone that told me that last year, because I went to so many bad things just because I thought it was good. The third thing is confrontation isn't as scary as people make it. I had a lot of friends, and I used to be one of these people too, but they'll always be like, I'm not a confrontational person. I don't like confrontation. Confrontation makes me anxious. Confrontation makes me sad. Confrontation makes me scared, whatever. Confrontation isn't as bad as it is, because whenever we talk about, I need to talk to someone about this, we think about, oh, what if they have a bad response, what if they break up with me, what if something bad, and it's always negative. Whenever you're having confrontation, think about every single outcome, the good, the bad, the neutral. Don't just think on the negative, because it makes us, and I wish that there was someone that told us that confrontation is as bad, because we can be so pessimistic on that area of life when it comes to healthily communicating our needs and our feelings and things that we want to see change, or things that we want to attract or accomplish. Because I dealt with that a lot, and now I really just like confrontation and being anxious and avoiding my problems just came out of me overthinking about everything. So confrontation is not as scary as people make it. Like if they have a bad reaction to you healthily communicating and coming to them about something, then I don't think they're meant to be in your life. Confrontation isn't as scary as people make it. Do not overthink. Do not think of the bad. Think of everything. Think of the good. And don't think about what could happen in the future. Think about the present moment. Because overthinking is the root of you stressing out about the past or the future. Most of the time, it's the future. That's something I learned during shadow work. Next one is not everyone wants you to help them. Not everyone wants your help. Okay? Sometimes people just want to unconsciously dwell in their emotions and make themselves the victim. And if you're the type of person that's going to sit around and help someone, that is great. You do not need to force them to get better. You simply have to encourage them and persuade them to get better, and if they make that movement, then that's great. But if they don't, if I'm being honest, what's the point of you staying? I had a friend that she struggled with mental health really bad, and she often turned to bad forces to go through. I'm like, okay, like whatever, you're an adult, you're okay, but you're turning an adult, you need to get your ish together and you need to be responsible. And she ended up going back to someone that I had that hurt me a lot, and she knew that he hurt me, and it really just sparked a rage in my heart and made me sad, because like she knew everything that happened between us, and she still went back. And she was like, when I confronted her about it, because I was really upset, she was like, well, he doesn't judge me, you judge me all the time, you always try to fix me. And I'm like, I do not try to fix you. I tell you to get your stuff together because you're an adult now. If something bad happens, you're not going to do it. If someone loves you enough to have you there, they should love you enough to take your advice and get better. Because change, I'm going to talk about that later. I'm talking about that later. Okay, that's actually the next one. So change is meant to be uncomfortable, and sometimes it's so lonely. After everything that happened in January this year with my ex/friend outing me, and my other friend outing me out to my mom about my drug issues, and eventually me getting out of a really close relationship talking phase, it broke me. But it was the boost that I really needed to get my life together. And it was really uncomfortable, and it took a lot of time, and I kept on avoiding shadow work, therefore it made it worse. Change is going to be uncomfortable. It's like, I'm a Taurus, so the stereotypical trait of a Taurus, other than being stubborn and materialistic, is irresistible to change. And change is so uncomfortable, and it gets so lonely, because there's feelings that you used to feel that you don't feel anymore, and then there's people that you want to understand you, but then they're like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, BFFR, what are you saying? And then so it feels really lonely, and that's the same thing as going through a spiritual psychosis or a spiritual awakening. You're changing from one level to another, therefore the people that's like between those can alternate between being high or low, and therefore it gets really lonely. And I talk to my friend about that, Mia, all the time. Mia, if you're watching this, hi, I love you. But I talk to her about this all the time, and it's like the people that I used to be friends with, they're like not the best people. And I learned that once I started really getting into shadow work and meditation and spirituality and more to my craft and stuff. And that's gonna happen. Like when you get into astrology or tarot or crystals or manifestation, you're like automatically bound to being into a spiritual awakening, and it sucks. Like, you're going to go through it whether you want to or whether you're not, so therefore you're going to have to learn it. Okay, next one is, if you complain about something all the time, then have enough energy to change it. When I was younger, I would always talk about, oh, I hate my life, I'm so lonely, I'm always in my room, I don't have this, I don't have that, and I took all the time to talk about all the things that I don't have, when in reality, I could easily talk about, oh, I have this, I have that, I have my dream life, I have a boyfriend, I have great friends, I have a nice job, I have a nice car, I have nice clothes, I look good all the time. If I'm putting so much energy into saying everything that I don't have, then I can put the same amount of energy into saying what I want. Or that's why one of my favorite manifestations is affirmations. Doing affirmations has really helped me doing that, as well as working on self-concept, obviously. But the only thing that really needs to change is your mindset. Okay, that's the only thing that needs to change whenever it comes to life, relationships, job, self-confidence, body, anything. Your mind needs to change. Your mind is the root of that tree, which is life, the tree of life. You know, that was deep. That was deep. The next one is that not all impulsive decisions are good. Obviously, there are some situations where if you make an impulse decision, that can quickly become a great thing. But then when it's impulsive and it's bad, it can affect not only you, but it can also affect the people around you. And that's why it's always good to take a look back and observe of what can happen if I do this, what can happen if I do that. That's why I'm talking about confrontation isn't a bad thing. You want to look at the good and the bad and the neutral, just so you can set out the pros and cons of everything. And yeah, whenever you're trying to confront someone about your feelings and emotions, there is no pros and cons. The pros is that you're confronting them healthily. The con is that if they respond back, you can leave. That's all I'm saying. The next one is, the more you act like the victim, the more lonely you'll feel. I had a friend that always talked about how she hated her life, and she complained about every single thing that she had, but she didn't make any movement to change it. Slowly she did, but it's more than just one thing, and little by little she started losing all of her friends. She has a few, I think, but they're all bad influences on her. I can already see. But she started losing all the good friends that were genuinely there for her, including myself. And I was the last person that stayed, and she never took time to tell me that she's grateful. But then someone else came into her life that did us both wrong, and all of a sudden, oh, he's my BFF with the heart around it. Oh my god, you've been here for like 22.3 seconds, but you're my bestie, and I'm just gonna throw away this other person that's been here for everything. And yeah, so stop complaining about every bad thing if you're not going to change it, because you must want it in your life still if you're still complaining about it. And if you don't want it in your life, change it. Because I'm so tired of all my friends being like, oh my god, I'm sad I can't have this, can't have that. But then there's something that you can do to receive what you want, and you're not doing the work. Do the freaking work. It's not going to come overnight unless you manifest it to you. But then even if you do manifest it to come overnight, you still have to do the work to meet the universe halfway. The next one is, finding happiness in yourself is more important than anything else. I didn't get my breath. In December, when I had my friend group, last December, I was so insecure, so lonely, and it's like whenever I wasn't around them, my life sucked. I did not feel or know how it felt to be happy and content with myself and myself only. And once they left, I did learn what a healthy real friendship was whenever the second semester started, and I met so many amazing freaking people, so many people that I didn't have to do anything bad to impress them, and that I was grateful for that, because I learned what a healthy friendship and relationships were. But I was still lonely with myself until about during my first intercession was starting on September 30th. I started doing shadow work. I was like, I'm so tired of avoiding shadow work and it coming up in the future. So I started doing shadow work. I started doing prompts whenever I needed to. I started learning to forget the people that's hurt me. I started writing off letters to people that hurt me, doing a lot of essay trauma, because that did resurface as well. And I'm still dealing with that now. But the fact that I took time to spend time with myself, because I not only learned about my shadow, but also learned about my light. I learned that whenever I'm bored, I just scroll and watch every single TikTok that I've recorded and every single highlight that I have just to admire myself. And I'm like, oh God, you're so pretty. And I say that to myself because I've grown to the fact that I am lovable. I am desirable of love. I am deserving of love. I can receive love. I can give love. And I radiate the person that deserves to be in a happy relationship, friendship with herself and others. And finding happiness in yourself is just truly the most important thing. Because if you find happiness in others and they leave, what are you left with? You're left out in the cold with nothing. Not even, you're left with one ply toilet paper and what else? Next one is quality over quantity. I am a very social person because of last year. I joined the library club in my school and I automatically met a lot of people. And I'm also friends with people that are very sociable, so I'm often meeting new people every day. And so I know a lot of people, and we do have small talk, but I don't consider them my friends. We're acquaintances. Like, I don't have anything bad to say against you. I don't know you enough to say anything bad. It's just sort of kind of like I can have a conversation with you, hold up with you, but then I have my group at lunch that I love them so much. They're like family to me. And they're the best. They're there whenever I need them. Every single person, especially my best friend. She's most likely watching this, so hi, love you, can't wait to see you. Quality, so much better. I'd rather have 2 amazing, great friends than 50,000 horrible friends, you know? And when having just 2 great friends, that can influence you in such a great way rather than having 5,000 bad friends that only talk to you when they want something. Okay, so next one, you don't always need to be in a relationship to be happy and complete. This one is the one that I dealt with a lot because my brother, they're in and out relationships, but they're always in a relationship. I'm in school obviously, so I always see relationships. I see relationships on TikTok and I'm like, oh, I want a relationship, but I don't need one. All you need in life is yourself. You've done it before, and you will always have yourself. Learn to be in a relationship with yourself. I love myself. I'm okay with being with myself. And I know that I'll get in a relationship soon. Eventually, I can feel it in my psychic bones. But if I don't get in one, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with that. I'm okay if I don't be in a relationship for another 7 months. And that's the good part of healing. It's knowing that you don't need a relationship to be happy and to find happiness in that. And finding happiness in yourself is one of the most important things that I learned this year. Being responsible is not lame or boring. Because whenever you're older, you're going to have responsibilities too, like paying bills, getting groceries, cleaning your house, feeding yourself, feeding your pets if you have any. Being responsible and taking care of your needs and things that have to be done is not lame or boring. And if people that do think it's lame or boring, they are childish and they are probably having everything handed to them over a silver plate, and life does not work with that. Next one is running away from your problems will not solve them. Sometimes whenever you run away from something, it makes it 10 times worse and it only adds wood to the fire. That's something that I went through many times because I went to that mindset that confrontation is scary. I don't want to I don't want to have conversation with anyone, but then 2 of my best friends outed me for a lot of things, and just because I wanted to run away from my problems and not communicate healthily, running away from them will only make it worse. Next one is when you make a goal a chore, it won't get done. Whenever we want to get something done, we see all these videos, TikToks as motivation. Whenever we make a goal, sometimes we make it for the wrong reason. So, when I decided that I wanted to work out to be more active, to just move around more, not only get out the house as well, and be more social, because I will have friends to work out with. When you make a goal a chore, then you're not going to get it done because you're like, ugh, I have to do this, but I want this, and then you're going to try to find shortcuts around it, and shortcuts do not work. Trust me, they don't. Don't make a goal a chore. When you think of it, you're like, why did I choose this goal? What made me want to choose this goal? What's the intention behind me choosing this goal? What do I want this goal for? How do I want to feel? How do I want to look? How do I want to act? Those are the good things, and that should always be motivation for you to keep going. Because seeing the product of someone else's journey from the same thing that I want gives me that boost. The next one is some people are temporary. I've had a lot of friends, I've had a lot of situationships that are temporary, they don't last. But I don't think of anything as a mistake. I don't regret anyone I've talked to, I've dated, I've been friends with, because I always learn something out of it. With my friends from December, I learned that not everyone is the best for you. Not everyone that you want is that. Not everyone keeps their promises. Not everyone's gonna be there for you when you're there for them. Not everyone's gonna give you that same energy. So some people there are only temporary, and they're only there to give you life lessons or to give you a boost to take care of yourself. Because sometimes the universe does that. The next one is putting yourself first is not selfish. When you put yourself first, that proves that you will be able to take care of others. You will not be stressed, you will not be tired, you will not be anything. You're not being selfish, you're not being lazy. Taking care of yourself is just as important as taking care of others. Because if you don't take care of yourself, who's going to be there to take care of them? Because you're going to be beaten down and exhausted. And overall, the feeling of taking care of yourself after a long day of work is freaking great. There's so many little things that go into putting yourself first, and I'm definitely going to talk about the 6 forms of self-care in another video, because that's so important and so many people do not know about that, and I did not know about it until like a week ago, 2 weeks ago maybe. So I'm definitely going to do a video about that because it's so important. The next one is take care of yourself, really, and I already talked about that. Taking care of yourself is just as important as taking care of anyone else. And the last one is breathe. Whenever there's something happening, just take the time to relax and breathe. Whenever you sit back and breathe a few times, calm down and get your thoughts together, you can recollect yourself. And overall, it feels good to have like a nice deep breath. Sometimes if you cry afterwards, that's a form of self-care too. So yeah, I'm grateful to be here at the end of 2022 onto the new year 2023. There's so many blessings coming from me, you, and everyone that's living. Not everyone's meant to stay. Not everyone is meant to be here forever. Lessons are better than some people think they are, and everyone thinks everything is being bad, when in reality it could be a blessing in disguise. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up. All of my social medias are in the description. You can, if you do want a personal reading or a year reading for the year of 2023, you can DM Watching the Montero. And like I said in the beginning, if you order before January 31st, 2023, you can get a discount, because we all like discounts, yeah? So, annyeong, blessed be, and I'll see you guys on the next video. And I also forgot to mention that I offer witchcraft lessons on Patreon. We go through the beginning, everything you need to know for your beginning of witchcraft. We go through spells, exercises, and different lessons and videos talking about everything you should know when you're starting your journey on witchcraft. So if you do want to be interested in joining my Patreon, it is $6.99 a month. It's not very expensive, very cost efficient, and you'll be provided a lot of information on witchcraft and spirituality and more. So if you're interested in that, you should definitely join.